You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Two games in one night. The stakes are as high as ever. What a game we have on tap for you tonight. And what a game we have to follow that one on tap tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into the NBL Live pregame show, brought to you each and every week by our graphics sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do a ton of graphics for our entire NBL network. They've got a great deal going on. If you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, hit up Web3KS.com. Let them know NBL sent you. You'll get a 15% discount off your entire order. Web3KS.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, the commission himself, Bomber. And boy, do we have a set of Week 17 games on tap with playoff implications out the wazoo. We start off with a battle for the AFC North. It is the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to be followed up shortly after by the Houston Texans taking on the New Orleans Saints. Bomber, this is what playoff time is all about here in the NBL. We're not even in the playoffs yet, and we've got two games that mean just as much as those playoff matchups coming up later this week.
Absolutely. We have two matchups tonight that are just playoff-bound matchups. Well, that's if the Houston Texans decide to come away with the win tonight. All four of these teams will be featured in our playoff broadcasts as well. That's right. The Texans have to win to get in. Currently, they're 8-6-1. The Jaguars tied last night with the Oakland Raiders, so things got a little weirder.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
At the same time, they stayed kind of the same. Texans got to win if they're in. 8-7-1 Jaguars, 8-6-1 Houston Texans. So with the win, they're in. With the loss, they lose the tiebreaker to the Jaguars, and we get to see an isolated, pretty little mug there on dadleagues.com/NBL. And over there in the AFC North, the Battle of the North, which has been dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. As far as division titles go, both teams 13-2 right now. Steelers at home, taking on the Cleveland Browns. I'm ready. I'm excited. This is going to be a great matchup.
All right, I got to give credit where credit is due. We're like 3 seconds into the broadcast. Might have had the joke of the day in the chat, our very own JY saying, what are playoffs? Is that the thing that takes forever before the offseason? 10 out of 10, JY. 10 out of 10 on that joke. Before we get to the players to watch for this first game between the Browns and the Steelers, we're going to continue to remind you until every single person in the entire Twitch community has applied for the 64-player EA Access Tournament, our second annual tournament here on the NBL Network. First place gets that signed Saquon Barkley helmet. Spots are filling up. We're sending out acceptance letters week by week. You don't want to miss out on that. You got to get in as early as possible. We're already climbing towards that 200 mark. Only 64 spots available. And right, it's all for Operation Homefront, a fantastic charity that helps out our military families. Go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com to apply for the tournament. Also, check out that 365 website. Brand new. Spanking.
Welcome to the network, baby.
Big shout out to Timbo with the 6 months of subscribing here on the NBL Network. So, we're just going to keep reminding you, go apply for the tournament. Let's take a look at the players to watch for today's game between the Browns and the Steelers, part 1 of this doubleheader. And first, on the side of the Houston Texans, nailed that one. Hold on. Money for the Cleveland Browns. I thought the Texans game was first. That's why it's all in there. For the Cleveland Browns, we have London Spate, defensive end. And Bomber, when we look at this Cleveland Browns defensive line, it's really a two-headed monster. Everybody talks about Myles Garrett. He's the big name, the top draft pick. But London Spate, what a season he has had. 53 tackles, 18.5 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. Bomber, the Steelers have had trouble this year protecting their quarterback. It looks like a game that if the Cleveland Browns can do what they have done all year and put some pressure in the backfield of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to have some success.
What the Cleveland Browns had success doing against the Pittsburgh Steelers last season is the same thing they've been having success against the Pittsburgh Steelers in NBL Season 32, and that's getting to Matthew Stafford under center. It's been happening early and often for this team, and the success lies with London Spate. One thing's for sure is the coaching staff in Cleveland said, the 6'7", 263-pound defensive end from Wisconsin University, that's right, he's a Badger. Former first-round pick in NBL Season 30, rookie draft. He's good for one thing, and that's going to get you 15 sacks a season. He had it last year. He has it this year. The guy's pretty much robotically giving you all-pro performances. Very excited to see London Spate tonight, and I want to see these Cleveland Browns come through and win this division.
On the flip side for the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's talk about Artie Burns. What a season he has had. A guy who, at times, has been victimized in the passing game, Bomber. We've looked at him in past seasons, and at times he's sort of been the scapegoat, has made some mistakes defensively. This year, he is playing probably the best he has in this cycle. 47 tackles, 9 interceptions, and 12 pass deflections. He also has 6 tackles for loss. So Artie Burns playing all over the field, Bomber. When you are maybe offensively looking at the Steelers' defense, what are you more concerned about Artie Burns? Is it about when he plays up and he's trying to get in the backfield and force for one of those tackles for loss? Or are you more concerned about him in the passing game?
You know, Artie Burns is such a dynamic cornerback at this point of his career. It seems like he's turned into really just being a superstar. As you said, 12 pass deflections, 9 interceptions, 47 tackles, 6 of them for losses. This is a guy that was pretty much a cover cornerback for the majority of his NBL career this Madden cycle, but he's kind of blossoming into a guy that just gets really aggressive, and they send him on blitzes. He's been doing pretty phenomenal even against the rush. And I look at those numbers, and I initially think, OSU, I think, okay, this Steelers team might be struggling in the pass game, and they're getting attacked a lot, which is going to inflate a cornerback's numbers, but that's not the case. This defense has been top 1 in the league. They're only giving up 14 points per game, number 1 against the rush, number 2 against the passing game, only 238 total yards they're allowing. This team's been pretty phenomenal, and Artie Burns has been the capitan of the defense and the secondary. I'm interested to see how he plays tonight against these Super Bowl champion Cleveland Browns and Joe Watson under center. The running game has been a little sketchy at best for Cleveland tonight. How much will Artie Burns affect this offense and make Cleveland have to really be aware of, hey, where's Artie Burns at? Where's he at on the field?
Okay, well, we have our Bleacher Report predictions on the screen, and as you can see, split right down the middle. Timbo, Bananas, and Fella all going with the Lady Luck himself, Mr. Z-Star. He may only be 4'9", but he can reach the top shelf in the NBL. On the flip side, JY and MBM going with the vet, the champ himself, Mr. Lip. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that whoever did this graphic over at BR left the names up for the. I assume it's the names up for the last game. Or for the next game, because it says Deshaun Watson next to Myles Garrett.
MBM with the, I think it's MBM. Is it JB so. Or MBM, right?
Yeah.
Mistakes.
Yeah,
Doughboy. Let's say Doughboy-esque, because then the names that were there that were wrong would also be misspelled.
Yeah, and be stretched out. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd be stretched out.
It would be quarterback Derek Watson and quarterback Rhys Banham. Like it'd be awful. It was throwing me off. I was sitting there, I was like, that's not Deshaun Watson. Did he get traded? Anywho, we got a great game on tap for you to start off. Browns and Steelers. Get your predictions in the chat. We'll look at those throughout the first quarter. Bomber,
and tell them about the camera. I want to know if people can notice the difference with the camera right now. I mean, it seems like it's looking crispy to me right now.
It's brand spanking new. I had the box, but I threw it away. It is brand spanking new 1080 camera. The only annoying part is it doesn't zoom as much as the last one, so you catch the microphone bar. But anywho, if that's the biggest problem you got, it's not too bad. You get to see this mug in crystal clear 1080. I am so sorry to all the ladies out there. Anywho.
That's apologies to you, Tout.
Sorry, Tout. Brown Steelers. Bomber, we were talking before the game. You've got an interesting take on this one. Who do you like to win this?
It's definitely a mind... I'm inside the minds of both of these teams because I think both of these teams are good enough to come away with the win, but here's how I see it. These teams usually split, right? Obviously. Well, Browns won the first game at home. I think Steelers keep the pattern alive and win this one at home. And another reason I'm going to go with the Steelers tonight is because the Browns did it through the wild card last season. I think they can do it through the wild card again. I think the Steelers believe they have to win this game. This is a must win for this franchise to go on a run this postseason, for NBL season 32. So I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think Steelers come out, Artie Burns comes out, gets a pick or two, Joe Watson gets a little flustered under center. Maybe we see a little Jared Goff come in just to save face. I say 34-14, Pittsburgh over the Cleveland Browns, and I don't think this determines anything. I think if they do match up in the playoffs, it's going to be one to remember, and it's pretty much a coin flip to them. But I just think the Steelers are going to come out here and show a lot of pride, while I think the Browns, the champion, maybe they get a little complacent, 13-2. They did it through the wild card last time. They have no problem going through the wild card system again. This is a team that averages 33 points a game, but I think the Steelers defense is going to be phenomenal. 34-14, Pittsburgh at home over Browns. They win the AFC North.
Mark it down, folks. This battle for the division, a banner on the line. Let's send it out to the game. That's the only way we're going to find out who wins the first half of this Week 17 doubleheader. Coming up next, it is two of the powers in the AFC, the reigning Super Bowl champion, the 6-time champ in Pittsburgh. They're going head-to-head for the division. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's coming up right now here on NBL Live.
I just want to say, hey, man, this is T.O., the cover athlete of the Madden 19 Hall of Fame edition, and you're watching the gold standard of the franchise mode, the MBL Network. Holla.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks who catches and makes a madness.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. And we've got NBL Live broadcast 229. It is live here on the NBL Network at twitch.tv/NBL Network. Welcome to the broadcast. Doubleheader action tonight. We're starting off with a battle for the AFC North. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers facing off head-to-head, both at 13-2. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man Bomber. Bomber, the one thing that we haven't really talked about going into this game, because they have such stellar records, Pittsburgh is riding an 8-game winning streak coming into this. Cleveland's won 2 in a row. Does the fact that Pittsburgh is sort of riding this wave of momentum, 8 in a row, does that give them any sort of advantage today?
I think it puts a little bit more pressure on this team right now. Going into the postseason with a 9-game winning streak isn't usually ideal for most fan bases in the NBL because we always know how that turns out. Usually they end up going home early. So if the Steelers come away, they can flip this as a positive as well.
First and 10, I formation for Joe Watson under center. No, not Deshaun Watson like that Bleacher Report graphic said. It's Joe Watson under center. On first down, he's going to drop back to pass. 4-man rush from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wait, looks to the in route. It is complete down to the 38-yard line. First throw, the young quarterback, Joe Watson, looking good early as he finds Zach DeMange, one of the biggest matchup nightmares in the NBL.
Absolutely. This is going to be an interesting matchup throughout this entire game. We're only 15 seconds in. Also want to say we have a game coming up after this. Texans need to win to get into the playoffs.
Watson dropped back on first and 10. Looks to the out route on the right side. It is complete once again, and they're quickly into Pittsburgh territory with another nice throw from Joe Watson. This time goes to the other side of the field, finds Corey Coleman for 22.
You see, when in doubt, the out route expert says it as I say it. That's just how you get Joe Watson in a little bit of a rhythm. A quarterback that's kind of been up and down as a rookie last season. We've seen those waves this season, but all in all, they're 13-2. They're feeling good right now, and you got to get the rookie quarterback, the second-year quarterback, going early.
They're trying to run the ball for the first time. He's got some room over the left side. Bailey's going to bring him down at the 35-yard line. Tevin Coleman, the former Atlanta Falcon, the former New Orleans Saint. He goes from the NFC South all the way up to the AFC North, picking up 6 on his first carry of the game.
And Tevin's been pretty good this year. 160 attempts, 930 yards, 13 touchdowns, 5.8 yards per carry. He's been pretty good on the ground, a little better than most people expected him to be at 30 years young.
Sandog34, can I get an NBL emoji? Sandog, that is for our subscribers. It's one of the benefits of being a subscriber here on the NBL Network, as well as all the giveaways, being a part of every single giveaway here on the network. It's a quick throw underneath. The coverage was great downfield there, Bomber. Nobody open for Joe Watson. The man coverage tough. And now Cleveland's going to be forced to convert a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, nice defense there by Ganther, number 27 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But more importantly, Joe Watson, his ability just to get rid of the ball quick. Did you see that quick release? If he would have taken a sack there, that might have pushed him out of field goal range. But the young quarterback, the young Super Bowl quarterback, gets rid of the ball, most importantly.
Joe Watson in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left side, 1 over to the right side. He's got Coleman in the backfield to his left here. 3rd and 4 for the Browns. A lot of guys in the box. It's Watson dropping back. Waiting, looks underneath, completes it. Nice little route there. Nice throw to Corey Coleman underneath, picking up the first down. Question in the chat from Rick Flair's there. Difference between following and subscribing. Following, completely free. We'll let you know each and every time we go live. Subscribing, on the other hand, is $4.99 per month, or you can use Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime. You get a free sub every 30 days. It is a paid subscription that we do. All of our giveaways are subscriber only at the moment. So you got to be either in the EA Access tournament or be a subscriber to win any one of our great prizes coming up at the beginning of August. As a handoff on first down to Coleman. Not a whole lot there. Great early penetration by Ryan Shazier. Bomber still the leader of this Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, we say still right now. He's 30 years old, Ohio State University. Ryan Shazier, former first-round pick. Speed 86, acceleration 86, 88 pursuit. He's done well this Madden cycle, retaining his athletic ability even at the age of 30.
2nd and 11. It's a play-action pass for Joe Watson. Rush comes, looks over the middle. It's picked up. Who else but Ryan Shazier from the Ohio State University, coming up with a big pick over the middle. And Bomber, the first mistake from the young quarterback Joe Watson is huge, as they get no points on what was turning out to be a great drive.
You know, just 3 plays ago, Ryan Shazier got beat over the middle, and I said, man, what is he at right now? 30 years old, 86 speed, 86 excel. I don't know too much about him in coverage right now, but man, he makes up for it on the next 2 plays.
On 1st and 10, quick throw underneath to Chauncey Arnold, breaks 1 tackle, tries to break another, but cannot get there. Will be 11 yards, picking up a first down, and at the helm in Pittsburgh, Bomber, the forlorn lover of the Detroit Lions. It's Matt Stafford having yet another great year.
Absolutely. Matt Stafford has been phenomenal in his 2nd season here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had 50 touchdown passes last season, NBL season 31. This year, not 50, but still a 129.6 QBR, so just a little respectable. I don't know, top of the league maybe.
Still pretty good as the handoff to Keel on first down goes nowhere, and they're going to be forced to convert a 2nd and 10. And Bomber, it might be tough running all day for this Pittsburgh rushing attack because, as we talked about in the pregame, the Cleveland defensive line may be the best in the NBL.
They just block shed and find their way into the backfield. They find their way tackling for loss or getting a hand on you early into the down, and that's one thing that has made this team just so dominant on the defensive side of the ball, because majority of your runs are going to be runs after contact because they hit you nearly immediately when you receive the ball.
Quick throw underneath to the running back. Once again, that's Tyrone Keel. He's getting the start at halfback. Some injuries at the halfback position for Pittsburgh. Tyrone Keel, 68 overall, spent 2 years ago with the Oakland Raiders. Did not have a team last season. Pittsburgh Steelers this year, he's got 45 carries for 119, averaging 2.6 per carry. 3rd and 10 for Stafford and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Howard coming motion 4 wide receivers. It's Stafford looking to convert a 3rd down. Waiting, looks deep over the middle for Chauncey Arnold, who takes a big hit as he tries to catch that ball. Cannot hold on to it. So Cleveland, mistake by Joe Watson, doesn't hurt them. It's going to be a punt.
A little different style throwing here from Matt Stafford, trying to get vertical down the field. That's right. He's at 88 throw power this year, but he had the drag wide open there. He could have let it upfield and easily walked for a first down. Instead, he kept his eyes on the prize. He saw the cover 4, thought he could split the safeties. They're not covering as much space in the cover 4, so they're able to play it a little tighter, get the hit on the wide receiver as he tries to catch it, and he drops it. So we're seeing a different style Pittsburgh Steeler attack here just on that first 3-and-out drive.
Shout out to Bananas in the chat with his 6 months of subscribing using that Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate all of our subs, appreciate all of our followers here on the NBL Network. 1st and 10, Joe Watson play action pass. He's going to drop back to throw. Waiting, sees nobody open. He's going to take off over the left side, take what he can get. He'll find the first down, take a big hit near the sidelines, but he will get that first down. 10 yards on the play. Little dangerous, not sliding, not getting out of bounds quicker, but he knew he had to pick up 10 to get that first. It's a big play for the Cleveland offense.
You see this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, what makes them so versatile. You see the number 90, TJ Watt, dropping 15 yards into coverage there on that cover 3. It just really shows his ability to drop into coverage as well as play against the run.
And that's a big play by Stephon Tuitt, coming around the outside and bringing down Joe Watson for a sack. 5-yard loss on the play. Bomber, how important, how big is it for a defense to get a sack and a negative play on first down? As CamFan1314 now following here on Twitch, how big is that first play to get a little momentum for your defense?
Huge. It's all about momentum right now. It's 0-0. Both teams have had the ball once. This is the second time for the Browns. This defense is top in the league, and they need to start making their presence known. And it needs to start right here, first quarter against the Browns as they go offside.
Yeah, well, so they go offside, so that sack, that momentum from putting the Cleveland Browns behind the 8 ball and backing them up, it just doesn't matter when you give them 5 yards back on the neutral zone infraction. 2nd and 10 for Watson and the Cleveland Browns. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. He's going to drop back to pass on first down. 4-man rush from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He looks over the middle, and just as the pressure got there, he found a man, but couldn't hold on to the ball. Wow, the possession catch gets dropped, Bomber. You don't see that too often. That's a big play as they had a first down. Instead, now Cleveland's going to have to convert a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, back in the 3rd and 10, we've seen it a lot this game. These 3rd and longs have become challenging. Earlier, Joe Watson tries to squeeze it over the middle, and Ryan Shazier makes a play. Matt Stafford misses the guy underneath as it gets dropped. 3rd and 10, let's see if Joe Watson kind of fixed that spell early in this game.
And he's looking on 3rd and 10. That was David Njoku with the drop in the last play. Looks over the middle, and it's a caught this time by Njoku. Made sure he looked that one into the old bread basket and picks up a first down. And credit on that play, Bomber, to the Cleveland offensive line. Only a 3-man rush from Pittsburgh, but they gave Njoku plenty of time to get open.
David Njoku, 44 catches, 766 yards, and 6 touchdowns, and none bigger than that one. I mean, that was a great play to move after his route was broken.
And a nice run on the outside by Tevin Coleman, getting up past the first down marker, giving him 10 on that play. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Cleveland, Bomber, we know Cleveland likes to use pace to keep the defense on their heels.
Yeah, absolutely. They like to pick it up. They like to have short huddles and not allow the defense to do much switching. But watch that guy Sims in the middle of the field. He's been great this season. I think he has 9 interceptions on the season. Watch him in the passing game. We already seen Shazier with the interception.
1st and 10. Dropping back passes. Joe Watson, blitz coming up the middle. Picked up nicely. Spin move right as he catches it. He'll get up to the 37-yard line. Nice job there by Joe Watson, recognizing the blitz up the middle. He finds Corey Coleman for a quick 8 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
Nice throw, nice patience, a nice spin after the catch. He takes what should have been maybe a 5 to 6 yard gain, adds another 3 to it. It just looks like the Browns are starting to settle down against this very fast-paced Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Tevin Coleman running like a bulldozer up the middle, breaking off tackles and picking up another 10. This is where, though, Bomber, Cleveland turned the ball over last time. If you're Cleveland, do you risk throwing the ball, knowing that Joe Watson threw a pretty bad pick on the first drive?
Yeah, you should already have 3. It should be 3-0 right now if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, but it's not. Joe Watson needs to just settle down here and make sure they come away with points.
And Watson's going to take off on first down, weaves around Ryan Shazier and gets up to the 10-yard line. Boy, oh boy, you don't see Joe Watson use his feet that much, but right there, Watson, a little shifty footwork and putting them on the 10-yard line.
I think one thing coming out of the combine about Joe Watson from Ole Miss was he's a little faster than we thought. He's 80 speed, 82 excel. He went against an 86 speed, 86 excel Ryan Shazier, who's 30 years old. And he says, no problem, watch me cut right upfield and pick up a few more yards.
And a nice job there by the Pittsburgh defense, buckling down Bud Dupree with the tackle. Little counter play for Tevin Coleman. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. 0-0 your score in this battle for the AFC North. Bomber, I'm so pumped. Playoff time literally around the corner, and we've got big games here in Week 17. It's very rare you get to Week 17 and we don't know all, if not most of the playoff teams. We got 2 games tonight that will determine those final 2 spots in the AFC.
Yeah, we could be looking at 4 playoff teams playing today, all fighting for something in relevance and importance. So playoffs came a little early to the NBL, this NBL Season 32. What a great way to close out Madden 18 as we come through. All the coverage for the playoffs are going to be covered here on twitch.tv/NBL Network. And, man, I'm excited, man. We got a lot of great games, and this one is just a great way to kick it off.
Yeah, make sure you hit that follow button so you know each and every time we go live with our playoff matchups here in the last cycle of Madden 18 as we look forward to Madden 19 coming out August 2nd, the EA Access Tournament. Free tournament on the Xbox. Don't miss out on that one. It's on 3rd and goal. Cleveland gets very conservative, hands the ball off to Anderson. 3 runs inside the 10. It nets him 2 yards. They'll be forced to kick a field goal.
Yeah, nice job there by the Pittsburgh Steelers playing that bend, don't break defense. Forcing a field goal here for the Browns is going to put them up 3-0. But mind you, this game should be 6-0 right now. And what do I always say the importance when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers? What's the importance of coming away with points? Because you have to get that kind of 2-score lead against Pittsburgh to really put pressure on their offense. I think leaving points on the board is very detrimental to the success of the Cleveland Browns today. But their defense is looking good. Offense seems to find a rhythm. And the momentum just seems to be kind of shifting toward these new, young Cleveland Browns team.
Well, it's interesting. Bananas in the chat saying he ran it. Is he playing scared? Is there any sort of psychological impact between these two teams? Cleveland, I mean, they're the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, I mean, they're the reigning Super Bowl champions. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been to, 2 Super Bowls this Madden cycle? So, I mean, I wouldn't look that deep into it this early in the game.
First and 10. Stafford looking at Balogun on the left side, coming up with a big catch at the 42-yard line. Nice throw there by Matt Stafford. Takes 2 steps to his left, finds a different angle, and finds Balogun right at the 42-yard line. Big first down as Pittsburgh trying to get the offense going.
Nice throw right there. You notice the coverage on the... It just seemed like they were playing a little hard flats on the left side of the field. Maybe it was a cloud coverage, but he was just inching down to the drag. Stafford makes the nice read, and at 88 throw power zips it in there.
Stafford's going to whip that ball over to Dre Christian on the left side. When in doubt, out route to the 42-yard line. Big pickup there as Matt Stafford trying to get in a rhythm. Pittsburgh an opportunity here. I mean, they could have been down multiple scores at this point. They have an opportunity to take the lead on this drive, Bomber, something I don't think we saw happening with the way the Cleveland offense has been going.
The only issue I have with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is the lack of identity at the running attack. We saw a loss of Le'Veon Bell. Last year they brought in Amir Abdullah. Not really worked out, and now they got 2 young guys that really haven't played any substantial playoff minutes or really any regular season minutes, and they've been struggling to move the ball. As you see right there, Keel, 2 rushes for 4 yards so far. That was his best rush of the game. First one went for nowhere. And in the backfield catching the ball, they're just not that good. So a lack of talent at the running back position, I think, is a big concern for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and they're just relying on the strong arm of Matt Stafford and the great defense that the Pittsburgh Steelers have here in NBL Season 32.
2nd and 6, empty backfield for Matt Stafford. 5 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 2 over to the left. As Stafford changing the play, surveying this Cleveland Browns defense on 2nd and 6, he drops back. Blitz coming, and Stafford, an uncharacteristically bad throw. Boy, he had a man open over the middle and just straight up short-armed it. Put that ball into the ground. Now Pittsburgh's going to be forced to convert to 3rd and 6.
And that's tough. I mean, you get the cover 2, the Tampa 2, and you get an opportunity there to find somebody over the middle of the field, and Stafford just cannot set his feet and does not make an accurate throw. That's kind of plagued him here in his NBL career this cycle.
3rd and 6. It's a shotgun formation. Keel going in motion. He's going to hand it off to Giovanni Bernard over the left side. Nothing doing there. 3 yards on the play. And now Pittsburgh, maybe a little strategic here. They know they're down 3-0. They're going to try to tie this score up with a long field goal from the left hash mark. This one a 52-yard attempt. Ball is down. Kick is up, and the kick is good right down the middle. 3-3 your score. Tie ball game here with 3:34 to go in the second quarter.
I really like the play call there on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had put a man in motion, make you feel like it's a swing, hand it off to their halfback. Just the elusiveness, the lack of elusiveness there allows Myles Garrett to make a play on the halfback, and I think it was the right call. I mean, if he would have just got through that hole, there was probably 10 to 15 yards to get for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just don't have the talent at halfback anymore, and it's really hurting this offense and putting them in stagnant situations that they usually pick up.
And now 1st and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Watson looking to put 6 on the board. 2, I think, disappointing ends to drives. This Cleveland Browns team looks like they're setting up the PAFK quick. Why not? Looking, waiting. Oh boy, you got cute. And Stephon Tuitt said no thank you. Didn't fake anybody out with that one, Watson. 7-yard loss on the play. Gonna bring up a 2nd and long.
Joe Watson trying to go back to the bread and butter, what is known as the play action FK quick. It usually gets open. You got to make a quick read sometimes, but Joe Watson did try to get a little cute there, and Tuitt was not having any of it. Good scouting report on both teams.
2nd and 17, play action pass for Joe Watson as he waits, looks over the middle of the field, throws it into triple coverage, and he put a dot on the money. What a throw by Joe Watson. Just over the linebackers, short of the safety, 24 yards to Parsons, and that is why the Cleveland Browns has this young quarterback leading them to victories all year long. Bomber, the arm is no joke.
And that's a tough catch there from Brady Parsons, the rookie. The last pick in the 1st round from Auburn University, 93 speed, 93 excel, 95 agility. Yeah, he's only 5'10", but he's got the heart of a lion as another completion moves the chains here for the Cleveland Browns.
A quick out route to the right side of Corey Coleman, I believe, on that catch. His 4th one on the day. 3-3-year score. We appreciate all of you tuning in to NBL Live Broadcast 229. I'm OSU. Hanging out with my man, the Commish Bomber, here on this Week 17 action as we lead into the playoffs here in the Madden Bomber League. Handoff over the left side to Tevin Coleman. And boy, oh boy, this Pittsburgh defensive line has been stout early. As who else but Stephen Tuitt? A tackle for loss. So far, 3 tackles on the game, Bomber. 2 were sacks, 1's a tackle for loss.
Yeah, you've seen Tuitt, you've seen Ryan Shazier, and don't sleep on Sims. He has 9 interceptions this year. This linebacker core for the Pittsburgh Steelers is pretty much remarkable at this point of the season.
Second and 11, 4-man rush picked up nicely. He's taking a deep shot down the left side, looking for sack. Demange, does he have space? He does! He does not get the feet in bounds, though. Demange had a step on the left side, but the ball just had a little too much mustard on it as Demange made a great effort, Bomber, but he comes up with nothing on the play. Going to bring him a 3rd and 11.
That looked like he needed a little toe tap and Tony there. As shout out to Antonio Brown, former Pittsburgh Steeler of this Madden cycle. Not on the team anymore. I believe he's retired here in the NBL.
And it's Joe Watson waiting, the spy watching him like a hawk. Oh, what a job in the middle. I believe that was Shazier as the spy. Look at him matching up. Joe Watson making sure he can't take off and run the coverage downfield was great. And Cleveland will be forced to attempt a long field goal. This one from the 42-yard line. A 59-yard attempt from the left hash mark to put him up. 6-3. Kick is up. Doesn't have the leg. It does. Money down the middle. 6-3 your score.
I'm more impressed at the 90 throw power from Joe Watson. He stepped into that ball and put it into a window that I was saying, don't throw it, and he just zipped it through. The receiver couldn't get to it either, but man, that ball had some nice arm behind it. It looked like a rocket launching out of Joe Watson right there. Very impressed by the arm strength so far from the sophomore season of Joe Watson, this rookie quarterback sensation that won a Super Bowl as a rookie last season. And he just looks like he has all this raw talent when he finally puts it together. This team, man, they've already won a Super Bowl with him. They could be 2, 3, 4. I mean, I don't want to quote LeBron James here, but man, this guy's pretty impressive.
First and 10, shotgun formation for Matt Stafford. 3-man rush from the Browns. Waiting, looking, and he throws it over the middle, and why not? He finds Bram down to the 46-yard line. Bomber, I'm checking my non-existent watch on my wrist. 1:42 and counting. 2-minute drill. I think it's Matt Stafford time.
It absolutely is Matt Stafford time, and it's honestly been that way since it started. As we said, the lack of halfbacks that they have. Let's see if Chauncey Arnold and Javier Howard can get going here.
And it's going to be a handoff to Tyrone Keel up the middle, and this Cleveland Browns defense, Bomber, I'm starting to think they don't like Keel that much. 3 carries for 4 yards, nothing doing on that one.
Yeah, just nowhere really to go, and it just seems like the offense is setting up a vertical attack that makes the defense have to kind of back up a little bit and respect it, but even that isn't enough to get this running game going. Serious problems in the running attack for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season.
2nd and 10, 3 wide receivers for Matt Stafford. 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. It's a play action pass on second down. Blitz coming. What a block by Keel over the middle, but it doesn't free up anybody down the field. Oh, Y was coming open, but unfortunately, Myles Garrett was bearing down on Matt Stafford. A huge sack on 2nd and 10. It's going to bring him a 3rd and long. 53 seconds and counting in the first half. It is 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right side. Keel to the left of Matt Stafford in the shotgun from the 46-yard line. He's going to drop back to pass on 3rd down. 3-man rush from the Cleveland Browns. Waiting. Stafford's going to take off. Not a lot of speed behind him. And no football either as he puts it on the ground. It's picked up by the Browns. Darius with the recovery. And Bomber, that is disastrous as Cleveland gets great field position with 38 seconds to go and 3 timeouts.
You know, ever since you said it was Matt Stafford time, it has not looked good for Matt Stafford.
My
they
watch
ran
must
the
be
ball
off.
for no gain.
I apologize.
And he just didn't seem like he knew what to do on that final play.
Joe Watson looks underneath. He completes it to Tevin Coleman, steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So we might be looking at a big swing here for the Cleveland Browns. They have an opportunity to go up at least 6 points into half. Bomber, I'm impressed by both these defenses doing such a great job of containing some high-powered offenses.
Absolutely. These two teams are high-powered, yet only 9 points, which plays into the defensive-minded Pittsburgh Steelers' hands, but I don't know how much longer it can last.
Blitz right up the middle. Down goes Watson. Oh, Sims came untouched and brought down the young quarterback Watson for 7 on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and long, and I feel like, Bomber, these 2 quarterbacks have spent a lot of time getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah, it seems like the protection has been horrible, horrendous to start this first half of NBL Live broadcast number 229. 230 is going to be your 200th broadcast here on the NBL Network. How impressive is that? Since the scoring isn't impressive, that's a pretty impressive number there.
Second and 17, screen pass to the right side, looking for Zach Demetch.
Oh,
Spin, move, around Ryan Shazier. Doesn't get the first down, though. Little too much east-west, but Ryan Shazier is looking around going, where did that guy go? It's Zach Demetch showing off the wheels.
That has to be one of the craziest spins I've seen in quite some time. That's Melvin Gordon-esque, but maybe just turboed up about 2 times, 3 times the revolutions. Nice run right there from Zach Demetch.
Watch the handoff here on 3rd and 1. Boy, that play call, I'm going to go with horrendous. Bomber, out of that formation, basically only 2 plays
and you
with
already
that
ran
long
the other
motion.
one.
You already ran the other one. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm questioning it as well right now. I'm thinking to myself, okay, guys, are we settling for 3 once again? I hope this doesn't come back to bite us later in the game.
Well, they are settling for 3. The kick is up. It is good. They get points, probably when they shouldn't have with Matt Stafford's fumble, but boy, Cleveland's having trouble finding the end zone. Their offense doing a great job up until the 30-yard line, but we talk about, Bomber, when offenses lose space behind them, when they get into tight field, some teams struggle, and so far that has been Cleveland's problem so far.
And the Steelers haven't been able to really get anything going as well. So if I was both of these teams, I would just go into half and I'd say, hey, look, score 0-0. If I'm Cleveland, I'm saying it's 0-0. And I'm going to say, play it like it's 0-0 right now. Let's start over. Let's refresh here on offense. If I'm Pittsburgh, I say, hey, look, we're only down 6 and we can't play any worse. We're going to put up more than 3 points to end this game. Trust me. And I think Pittsburgh just needs to get a couple rhythm plays down the field and allow their receivers, Arnold, Howard, to get going and get some yards after the catch.
1st and 10, throw to the post right. He finds Javier Howard. 4 seconds left. They'll take a timeout at midfield. Surprise, Cleveland came out with that cover 2 defense. You know how good it is, those skinny post routes splitting the safeties, Bomber, and they got burned right there with a nice throw from Matt Stafford.
I think they're willing to give it up. Cleveland's probably thinking there just isn't enough time to get into field goal range if we just give up something deep and we get a good tackle. We didn't want to go into a zone and allow ourselves to get beat over the top. So they keep the 2 safeties in over the top in man coverage. I think it's a smart call. Let's see what Pittsburgh tries to do here with 4 seconds left.
Yeah, only 4 seconds left. Be interesting to see if they are taking just a deep shot on this one, if they think they have enough time to get into field goal range. I'm not sure they do. 1st and 10, Stafford dropping back. It's a quick throw to Arnold and hit one of those Cleveland Browns in the back. It's going to be an incomplete pass. Now on 2nd and 10, Bomber, you got to think it's a heave towards the end zone.
Potentially. If I'm the Steelers, I
Do
might
they
just
have
run the
anybody
ball
over
here.
5'9"? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I would probably just run the ball here and try to get my running game some yards, maybe get them some confidence before the end of the half. I wouldn't want to see a pick 6 here and throwing a Hail Mary. Trust me, I've seen it happen to myself. You don't want to get that risky this early in the game.
Maybe looking for a pass interference here on 2nd and 10. Stafford heaves this one up towards the end zone. A lot of jerseys back there. Oh, Christian almost came up with a catch, but it's going to fall to the ground. We go to halftime, 9-3. The Browns on top in this one in a defensive battle. Pittsburgh gets the ball to start the second half, Bomber. Coming out of halftime, if you're the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, how are you feeling on each side of the ball?
On the Browns side, I'm fine. I got a 6-point lead, and I missed some opportunities, but I would just tell my team, hey, it's 0-0. Let's don't play like we have a 6-point lead. Let's play like it's 0-0 and get our offense going and allow the defense to be a little bit more aggressive. Pittsburgh, same concept. Say you're down 6, you can't play any worse. I really want to spotlight right now Drake Christian, the rookie from last year, superstar development, 93 speed, 92 excel, 93 agility. He had 1,400 receiving yards last year, well, 3 away from 1,500. This year, OSU, only 816.
Wow.
His receptions are cut in half. His yards are at 800. Last year, nearly 1,500. There's serious concern here with Drake Christian, as we didn't call his name much in the first half at all.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Matt Stafford. Under center, he's going to drop back to pass on 1st and 10. Looks right up the seam, has a man. It is Balogun. And Bomber, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, they do such a great job of utilizing the tight ends when necessary. They don't lock in too often, but at the times when they throw to them, it seems to be always for a big gain.
Yeah, it does, and that's because they just leave them so open, because the talent at tight end is similar to the talent at halfback. It's just really not there, as that's the first catch of the season for Balogun right now at the tight end position.
1st and 10, Stafford dropping back, 4-man rush from the Cleveland Browns, waiting, looks over the middle. Oh, there are about 3 guys open. He tries to find Drake Christian, but he cannot hold on to the ball through coverage. Bomber, you saw that play developing. The drag route underneath was open. The little in route was open. Are you happy? Would you be happy with the throw that Matt Stafford made?
You know, I'm questioning Matt Stafford right now. Last season, it was a lot of underneath stuff. It was a lot of pitch and catch to your speedy wide receivers, let them get the yards after the catch. This year, he's making a concerted effort to drive it down the field, and we're seeing a big-time dip in production.
2nd and 10. Keel going in motion. They're looking for the swing screen to the speedy Keel. He's got to the outside, tries to make a move, but is not quite elusive enough. Still pick up a couple on that play. We find out the left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Forearm fracture, and that's a big loss for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, already struggling to deal with this Cleveland Browns very, very talented defensive line.
Absolutely. This is big losses here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they need to win this game because they need to win the AFC North. They've been the king of the North. They can't have it stop here in the last season of this Madden 18 cycle.
Oh, Stafford, a nice, smart throw underneath to Javier Howard, picking up the first down. The coverage was soft, and Javier Howard goes, well, we'll take this one for a first down. Don't take more than the defense gives you. Take what you can get. It's a big first down for the Steelers.
Yeah, nice pass right there from Matt Stafford, and finally they get over that third down hump. That down in distance has plagued them this entire game. A team that's usually good out of digging themselves out of a hole in the passing attack hasn't been good lately, but that's a breath of fresh air there. Nice throw, nice catch from Matt Stafford. 1st and
10, Stafford rolling, looks underneath, finds Giovanni Bernard, little juke move, little shimmy shake up to the 37-yard line. And again, folks, we appreciate you tuning into NBL Live Broadcast 229. I am OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, the Commissioner Bomber. We've got doubleheader action tonight. This is only game one, a battle for the AFC North. Winner takes the division. We've got another great game coming up next. Texans and Saints. Texans, a win. They win the AFC South. A loss. The Jaguars take the AFC South. The New Orleans Saints fighting for some playoff seeding. Great action here in Week 17. Blitz coming, quick throw to Chauncey Arnold. He just never turned around. But Bomber, that's a throw Stafford has to make. There were way too many untouched blockers coming in the backfield. And so Stafford has to get rid of it quickly. Now they need to convert a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, he's struggling against cover zero blitzes. He's struggling against drop coverages. It just doesn't look like the same Stafford we saw last year that had a 1,000 QBR. Yeah. He was pretty much phenomenal, untouchable, had 50 touchdowns this year. Just seems a little rocky in the pocket.
3rd and 3, Stafford dropping back to pass, waiting, looks for the out route. Did Christian get his feet in bounds? He did at the 26-yard line. Some fancy footwork on the right side. A little late recognition, but it's not too little too late for Matt Stafford. Big first down to the 26.
I might think about challenging that if I'm the Cleveland Browns, but they play such a bend-don't-break defense. At the 26, it still feels like you're probably 40 yards away from the end zone. Everything gets so compacted and tight as you get inside the red zone. They are the #1 red zone defense in the NBL, the Cleveland Browns are.
I formation for Stafford. It's going to be a toss by the Keel over the left side, trying to find some room over there. But no, thank you, says this Cleveland Browns defense. And who else but Myles Garrett making the tackle on Tyrone Keel. Loss of 2 on the play, Bomber. Put him on a milk carton. Can't find this Pittsburgh Steelers rushing attack.
Yeah, Tyrone Keel has been horrible, and he's the guy averaging 5.1 yards per carry this year. They think he can carry them to some kind of glory in the playoffs. I don't think so. 1 touchdown on the season out of 74 carries. I like the 5.1, but I got to know where it all came from because it doesn't look like it's coming against stout defenses like the Cleveland Browns have.
2nd and 12, shotgun formation for Matt Stafford. 3 wide receivers, 2 over the left, 1 to the right side. Has Stafford drop back, 3-man rush from the Browns. Looks over the right side. He finds Javier Howard inside the 5 to the 4. Stafford stepping up in the pocket and delivering a dot to who else but the star wide receiver, Javier Howard. 1st and goal from the 4.
It's good to see Javier Howard coming out of his shell, but where is Dre Christian? The sophomore slump is real here in Pittsburgh. We haven't seen him much, but Javier Howard's starting to get going, and Stafford's starting to look good.
1st and goal. Stafford, quick 3-step drop. Waiting, looking. Looks over to the left side. Hey, Bomber. Dre Christian's right there, and he's got 6, tying this ball game up.
Now that's the Pittsburgh Steelers offense I've come to know and love. They're great on 3rd downs. They can dig themselves a hole, and they climb that rope right back out of that hole. We saw it multiple times on this drive. A nice, good, long drive. Look at that, 10 plays, 77 yards in, 2.5 minutes? Great job here for Pittsburgh to start this and say, hey, the AFC North, that's going to be our division in NBL Season 32.
DC Sports Guy 41 saying, are you going to be switching over to Madden 19 the day it comes out? Well, we have our EA Access Tournament. So before the game is even released, we have our EA Access Tournament, 64 players completely free to enter. We'll be running that from August 2nd to the 5th, 12-hour stream on day 1, all for charity, all for Operation Homefront, a charity that benefits our military families. You can apply at 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Completely free to enter. First place gets a signed Saquon Barkley helmet and a copy of Madden 19 Hall of Fame Edition. But then, yes, we'll be playing Madden 19 a whole lot right when it comes out. Very excited for that game. As on 1st and 10, a sack for Churfy Gooch, the man with the best name in the NBL. 6-yard loss on the play, the 4th sack for the stout Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
You know, a lot of Pittsburgh fans come up to me and they go, man, Churfy Gooch, what do you think about him? I said, if he just played up to half the potential that his name has, he'd be a Hall of Famer in the NBL. Right there, he makes a big dog play here in the 3rd quarter.
2nd and 16, play action pass. And wow, just a little sidestep, looks over to the left side and completes it down to the 39-yard line. Joe Watson showing off the footwork in the backfield, sidestepping it and finding Corey Coleman, 5th catch on the day.
When I saw Sims coming basically untouched, hot and heavy, I thought, no way Watson finds himself out of that hole, but somehow he's just two-stepping to the right and making all the throws.
Whoa, spin move by Tevin Coleman up the middle to the 44-yard line. Coleman, Bomber, never has been known as a real speedy, much more of a bruiser, but he showed off the footwork on that carry for 5.
Tevin Coleman has been phenomenal this Madden cycle. I don't know if you guys have used him in other leagues, but he's been great in the NBL. He had a short stint with the Atlanta Falcons. He dominated with the Saints. Then when he turned 30 years old, they trashed him, and the Browns said, don't mind if we do. They picked him up, and he's been playing out of his mind this season.
Joe Watson dropped back on 2nd and 5, waiting, looking, flag down on the play. He completes it down to near the 25-yard line, but it's going to be coming back. Rod Johnson with the hold on the right side, backing him up 10 yards. What a disappointing play there, Bombers. Joe Watson made a beautiful throw over the middle.
I just knew it was going to happen. You see the flag come down early. Most likely, that's a holding on the offensive line. And you just see Joe Watson step up and just drill that pass. Nice possession catch by the receiver. Parsons has been one of his favorite targets over the middle of the field.
2nd and 15, Watson waiting. Oh, man. Wow, that was a gutsy throw as it was not open. But for some reason, the safety in that buzz coverage dropped off right as the ball was released, and DeManch comes up with a catch at the 46.
Yeah, what was that right there? Just bad defense there from the Pittsburgh Steelers, but maybe it was just great offense. The superstar wide receiver, Zach DeManch, doing Zach DeManch things right there, coming back to the ball.
3rd and 4, waiting. Lots of time. Watson's going to take off. He's going to try to pick up the 1st down. He will as he dives forward to the 47-yard line. Superman that one, Joe Watson, as he crosses into Pittsburgh territory.
I guess Superman is alive right now, alive and well, and he's in the form of Joe Watson right now, a.k.a. the NBL Clark Kent. He's looking phenomenal here for the Cleveland Browns.
Play action pass to it. Oh, he gets picked up. Oh, what a pick by Ganther. He just slid in front of the David Njoku and picked that one off going the other way. It looked like the Browns had some momentum, but Pittsburgh says thank you very much. We'll steal this one and go the other way. It's Conmaster0125 now following on Twitch. Appreciate the follow. I'm sure everybody on the Pittsburgh sideline appreciating that pick.
I called him Clark Kent and then immediately followed with an interception.
Well,
so I don't really even know
where to go with that. You should stop complimenting guys. Like, that's kind of the problem. I said Matt Stafford time, it went downhill. Called him Clark Kent. I mean, he did look like Clark Kent there, not Superman.
Yeah, there you go. He's the business suit version of himself right there. Just bad decisions. I mean, it was a bad decision when he threw the Zach DeManch 2 to 3 plays earlier, and then he just throws it into double, triple coverage on the corner route. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, start getting a little excited. I think your team's going to do it.
2nd and 11, Stafford dropping back, waiting. Oh, okay, well, just throw that one right back to the Cleveland Browns going the other way. Spin move, he's whining and waiting his way to the 25, flag down, probably a block in the back on Deku, but no matter, Matt Stafford, he's playing Santa Claus, giving a gift back to the Cleveland Browns.
And that's one thing about this Madden. So you saw the block in the back and the flag came out, and it was actually something that was visible, that we saw, and it actually happened. So those are some positive things from this game that I hope they take moving forward. But man, every time I say something great, let me try this again. Tevin Coleman has been great.
He
hasn't fumbled very much.
First and 10, Coleman with the carry. He doesn't fumble, but he doesn't get a whole lot on the play. 2 yards up to the 33-yard line. Hey, while we have a second here in the 3rd quarter, I want to give a big shout out to our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do a ton for our entire network, our original programming, that overlay you see here on NBL Live. If you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, hit up Web3KS.com. Let them know NBL sent you. You'll get a 15% discount on your entire order. Web3KS.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. 2nd and 9, shotgun formation for Joe Watson, 3 wide receivers. And David Njoku on the right side. He drops back. 4-man rush picked up nicely. He's got all the time in the world. And then Joe Watson puts it firmly in the sidelines, trying to hit the cameraman over there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, he had a dig on the left side of the field that came across the middle that was wide open. And what's going on with Pittsburgh Steelers pressure. It just seems like it's almost non-existent. If they don't send 6 guys, 5 guys, they literally have no chance to get to Joe Watson. It's almost like he's being protected by some kind of force field, some kind of shield there in the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, and it's been discouraging being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, watching him just sit in the pocket for 5 to 10 seconds.
3rd and 9, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right side play. Nope, they're going to hand it off to Tevin Coleman. Boy, another play bomber. We've seen it a couple times from this Cleveland Browns offense. They have a big 3rd down to get 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and medium. They play very conservative, hand the ball off. They're going to take their points from the 33-yard line, a 50-yard attempt. From the left hash mark, kick is up. It is true. It is right down the middle. Cleveland reclaim the lead, 12-10. Do you like this conservative offense we've seen from the Cleveland Browns?
It's questionable, but they're playing for the lead right there, and I understand it. They've been struggling to put the ball in the end zone, and the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to be picking up some momentum, so what you can do to put pressure on the Steelers is take the lead and completely take the running game out of the game, because if Pittsburgh doesn't think to run, I think that's when their passing game gets in a little bit of trouble. We saw it earlier with Matt Stafford getting intercepted. I think down 2 with the quarter left, the way they've been scoring, that kind of feels like a big deal, and maybe that pressure will hit this offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And don't forget, folks, we've got doubleheader action. Following this one, Texans and Saints. Texans need a win for the division. A loss puts the Jacksonville Jaguars as the division champions. As Matt Stafford drops back on 1st and 10, looks over the middle. Oh, the coverage was tight, and Drake Christian. Boy, that's a play Drake Christian made last year, Bomber. You're talking about the disappearance of Drake Christian. That's one he made last year, made the tough catch in tight coverage. This year, though, he lets the defender get a hand in there and force an incomplete pass.
Yeah, great job by the cornerback there in man coverage. Phillips playing inside. Absolutely a phenomenal performance here, not just from the defensive line, but also the cornerbacks there, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, excuse me. Steelers cornerbacks have played pretty well as well.
Quick throw to the outside, trying to get the screen to Javier Howard. He's fighting through tacklers, getting what yards he can, but it was well covered by this Cleveland Browns defense. And now a huge 3rd and 8 as we head to the 4th quarter, 12-10. Cleveland on top, the division on the line. Want to know what else is on the line? We've got a subscription giveaway coming up in the 4th quarter. A gift subscription going to be given out by Colonel Sanders 94. Appreciate all that you do. If you're not a subscriber, hey, just put in the chat, hashtag I want a Sclamscription. Good luck spelling Sclamscription. 3rd and 8.
It must be spelled correctly
Must
as well.
be spelled correctly to win. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. For Stafford, drop backs on 3rd and 8. Waiting. Down goes Stafford. As Spate, we talked about him in the pregame. He has his first sack of the day, and Pittsburgh's going to be forced to punt this one back to the Browns offense and leave it up to their defense to get a stop.
Have you noticed the waiting? By the time you get to the 3rd waiting, Stafford's down. Joe Watson, you can count it forever. It seems like he's going to the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th. It just seems like 2 different teams out here defensively.
Baby. And the Sclamscription is given away as a nice return up to the 41-yard line to Sandog 34. Big shout out to the Sclamscription King, Colonel Sanders 94. The 8th subscription gifted. This one to Sandog 34. Hey, you were asking for that MBL Network logo, that little MBL Network emote. You got it now. 1st and 10. Shotgun formation for Joe Watson. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 over to the left. It's going to be hand off to Tevin Coleman over that left side. Cuts up the middle. He's got some room. He's got the 1st down and more. 2 guys to beat. He takes a big hit, but he's taken out of the 28-yard line. Really one of the first real nice runs we've seen from Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, and Tevin Coleman just doesn't fumble. You see what I did there? I'm bringing it back in. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers fans out now, thank me later.
The Bomber jinx.
But he has not fumbled in quite a long time. Big hit right there from the cornerback. Tevin Coleman just kind of had his head on the swivel, kind of lost sight of the guy to the left of him, kind of behind him. I think he could have went to the house there if he had just had one man to beat.
Quick throw to the flat, complete to Tevin Coleman. Takes a big hit from Bailey, taking down to the 19-yard line. Just short of the 1st down marker. Going to bring up a 2nd and 1. Bomber, there's still a lot of time left, but it's pretty crucial. It would be huge for Pittsburgh to hold Cleveland to at least a field goal.
Yeah, I think a field goal keeps them right in. I mean, this is a touchdown-scoring Pittsburgh Steelers team. You haven't seen it tonight, but I still believe that they are. It might be in that double-A gap blitz here.
Yep, it was a blitz. He finds Njoku underneath, who breaks a tackle, showing off the strength and finding the end zone. 4 field goals, and now they finally find that big space in the back of the field. Touchdown Browns as David Njoku shaking off the Steelers and putting the Browns up 2 scores.
I didn't mean double-A gap. I meant the 2-4-5 with the yellows. The safeties dropping to the yellows.
I thought you meant double-A, the newest member to the NBL.
The double-A, the newest member of the NBL. That's what I meant there. I'm getting old. It's all becoming
a blur.
Let's
be clear. Can we point out, I think this is by far the first time ever that we have seen a player come up from the grid, take over a team in his first 2 games in the NBL are on NBL Live with both chances to win the division.
Well, yeah. Well, you add the NBL Live part in. I'm certain that's never happened before. We have seen some owners come in with opportunities that were earned by previous owners to get to the next spot. But Double A got a shot tonight to win the division, and guess what? I'm rooting for him. You tied up and isolated, which kind of, I guess, was a push kind of win for him. But I'm hoping that the Texans win it because I do not want to see that Jacksonville Jaguar face on MaddenBomberLeague.com.
Shout out to C-Stive with the follow as Javier Howard. Tight coverage on dot from Matt Stafford. They're in Browns territory. They're going to hurry back to the line. 4:26 and counting. It's Matt Stafford, empty backfield. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3 over to the right side, 2 over to the left. Stafford surveying this defense. He's going to drop back to pass on 1st and 10. Waiting. Oh, he's got a man wide open over the middle. It's Javier Howard once again. And they're inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 12 bomber. The explosive Steelers offense, it's showing up just when Pittsburgh needs it.
What we're seeing is kind of a throwback before Drake Christian, before Chauncey Arnold. There was a guy by the name of, Javier Howard. He once went for 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. We're getting a throwback game from Javier Howard here. He's been looking phenomenal.
Stafford, he's just going to chuck this one out of bounds. We saw Stafford try to take off and pick up a first down. Ended in a fumble. Bomber, I think that was in the back of his mind as he chucked that one into the first row.
Yeah, you're down 2 scores right now. This is exactly where you want to be if you're a Brown, but as a Steelers, you know how your offense gets when they're down 2 scores. They start forcing it just a little bit. You got to understand, if you come away with 3 right now, it's still okay. You're still in the game.
2nd and 10, Stafford dropping back, looks to the flat, has a man, it's Graham with the catch on the sidelines, picking up 5, cutting back to a 3rd and 5. Bomber, this is a place where in years past, you'd have that threat of Le'Veon Bell with the run game. No such run game today. So that sort of changed how the Cleveland Browns defense is going to attack this situation.
Absolutely. The Browns are going to send the pass rush heat, and they're going to drop everybody else into coverage because you know what? These pass rushers are talented enough to shred those blocks and shed those blocks and get to the halfback, so they're not worried about the run at all.
3rd and 5, Stafford waiting, looks over to the right side. Oh, Chauncey Arnold, tipped it right into the hands of the Cleveland Browns, and Goodson with the pick, disastrous, as it was not a bad throw, but Arnold, this Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiving core just not making the big catches, and that one about as bad as it could get, as I really hate Mark in the chat calling out the Z-Star luck.
Yeah, that's just bad. Matt Stafford makes the right decision right there, and nothing positive happens from it. He makes the nice dig play. He holds the user by looking midfield, throws it to the back of the end zone, bounces off the chest of the wide receiver, and it's intercepted. Unfortunate events here for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Throw it to the flat, down to the 25-yard line.
This is the worst time to lose a division, too, because that banner is going to hang on MaddenBomberLeague.com, DaddyLeagues.com/NBL for quite a long time, probably longer than usual.
2nd and 5. Bunch formation, 3 to the right, 1 over to the left side. Let's see what the Browns decide to do here. Got to think it's Tevin Coleman with the carry over the right side. It is a little slash. Tevin Coleman's in the empty space. To the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Tevin, don't tap into the end zone. Touchdown, Browns, as they seal up an AFC North title. Boy, Lip doesn't drop too many of these, Bomber, and we've seen Z-Star now going for his 2nd time and looking to repeat as Super Bowl champion.
All right. I got to give the former champion, the 4-time NBL Super Bowl champion, he's going to go for 2 here. He's going to go for 2 here to go up 17.
Toss play blocking is great. Walk into the end zone. Put him up 17.
That was a gutsy call right there, because if he scores once, I was going to say, hey, it's 16 points. He's still just 2 scores in this game, 1 really quick score, but they got the guts to go for the 2-point conversion, which is completely legal by NBL rules. Goes up 17.
Car crash. Hey, reminder,
big hit,
folks.
27.
Reminder, folks, we've got double header action coming up next. Texans and Saints. Texans need a win to win that AFC South. Without that win, we got to stare at Unisolated's face as the champions of the AFC South. Should be a great game here on NBL Live coming up immediately following this game. Matt Stafford and the Pittsburgh Steelers needing a miracle after just an unfortunate interception, followed by a great run by Tevin Coleman. Dropping back is Matt Stafford. Looks over to the right side. He finds Bram, but can't come up with a catch. That one almost got tipped into a defender's hand once again. 15 of 27, 239, a touchdown and 2 interceptions, Bomber. Stafford hasn't been bad, but the wide receiving core has let him down.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Stafford has had his issues. Let's not say he hasn't looked bad. He hasn't looked great, but he hasn't looked bad. And his receiving core just seems to not be on the same page with him, so when he's on the money, they just seem to be dropping passes.
Well, and speaking of dropping, Cam Hayward with the sack on Matt Stafford. Loss of 5 on the play. The former Pittsburgh Steeler bringing down Matt Stafford, 226 and counting. Bomber, this one all sealed up for the Cleveland Browns. They're partying on the sidelines.
Yeah, it looks to be over. 3-score game, just over 2 minutes left. Just nothing happening here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got 3 speedy wide receivers, but they just can't seem to really get down the field. And I don't know if they have enough talent at other positions to make up for the lack that they have at tight end and halfback. Let's be honest here. Tight end and halfback in the offensive line has not looked good. This team was a 96 overall. Right now, what were they coming into this game, OSU? An 87, 89? 89, I think.
89.
Man, that's a big-time drop when you see a team lose 7 overall points. Maybe Big Ben's still around somewhere. I might be giving him a ring-a-ding-ding and say, hey, man, you've been watching this, man? We might need you for some playoff magic.
And don't forget, we'll have our NBL Live Player of the Game selection. Following this one, a quick pregame show will get you out to Texans and Saints at the conclusion of this ball game. 1st and 10. 3 wide receivers for Matt Stafford. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. He drops back to pass on 1st down. Looks over to the left side. Has Drake Christian over the top. He makes a catch at the 39-yard line. Too little, too late, but a nice throw by Stafford. A nice catch by Drake Christian.
Yeah, nice way to get over the top against that cover, too. Drake Christian finally coming alive. Maybe that's something they can take into the playoffs because this game is pretty much dead. And Drake Christian's production has been dead as of late, especially this season, coming off a huge rookie performance. Just kind of died this season and hasn't produced the way they'd like him to. Let's see if he can pick it up.
And Stafford looking over to the left side. Oh, Javier Howard, a dangerous throw, and he makes a nice catch in front of the defender. Minute 34 and counting. Pittsburgh not giving up quite yet as Matt Stafford up over 300 yards on the day. We've got Texans and Saints getting in the lobbies right now. We'll get you over to that one. It's Javier Howard, 7 catches, 150 yards. Boy, the rest of the wide receivers have sort of let him down. Howard had that big drop that ended up in the hands of the Cleveland Browns, but he has been fantastic so far. Another empty backfield for Matt Stafford. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Waiting. Look for the tight end in the back of the end zone, and he throws it up to Balogun. Comes down with the catch. Touchdown, Steelers. Boy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if they didn't go for 2 there might have been something to this game right now because they would have had all 3 timeouts. And there would be that opportunity and hope here because you know what would have came there. The wide receiver quick handoff for the 2-point conversion. That's money. They'd have 18 right now, and it'd be a really, really tough situation for the Cleveland Browns because there's a lot of pressure here. There's a lot of pressure winning this AFC North.
Well, Pittsburgh's got 3 timeouts. They're going to try to force something here as they kick it deep to the Browns. Big hit, but the Browns not letting that ball go. Chances look slim, but you use all 3 timeouts. You get a quick score. And who knows what happens on an onside kick. Not over yet, folks, as we do have doubleheader action. Texans and Saints coming up next. Don't miss out on that one. A great battle. This one for the AFC North here. That one for the AFC South. Texans need a win for the division. Handoff Tevin Coleman right up the middle. Oh, that's not going to help. Giving up 11 yards. This Pittsburgh Steelers run defense has been so good all game, Bomber. When they need it the most, they've sort of disappeared as the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns dominating in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's just been too much to handle here. The running game comes alive in the second half at a time in which you feel like you got a rhythm defensively. You know what to expect from Joe Watson. You're seeing what these receivers are doing. You picked them off. You almost picked them off a couple times. Then all out of the blue, here comes old Tevin Coleman, 30 years young, doing some big things.
1st and 10, handoff to Coleman over the right side. Big hit. Trying to pry that ball free, but the stickums on the gloves, Bomber. Tevin Coleman ain't dropping that. It is impossible for Tevin Coleman to fumble. I dare you, Madden Gods, to make him fumble. I'm just taunting him right now.
Let's talk a little bit about our charity, Operation Homefront. What do we got for them in the tournament? I know it's all about the $1,000 in prizes we're giving away. Free tournament, 64 players, but we're doing it for a great cause. Tell them a little bit about Operation Homefront while we got the guys here.
Yeah, fantastic charity. Helping out our military families with food assistance, housing assistance, repairs, anything our military families need. Our EA Access tournament running from August 2nd to the 5th. It is all of our proceeds during that time will go to Operation Homefront. We've already got over $1,300 pledged to Operation Homefront. We're selling limited edition t-shirts at that link right there, 365.maddenmarmalade.com/EA Access Tournament. Click on that if you want to apply. We're nearing 200 applicants, but there's still time to get your application in. We also have those limited edition t-shirts sold there. 50% of those proceeds go into Operation Homefront. It's a great cause. We'll do a 12-hour stream on day 1. We're giving away that Saquon Barkley helmet. Signed Saquon Barkley helmet. Oh, oh, what a juke move, but then the
Welcome to
unnecessary
the network, baby.
Signed Saquon Barkley helmet to first place, as well as a copy of Madden 19 Hall of Fame edition. Shout out to WSU Cougs with the 4 months of subscribing. It really is a great cause. You don't want to miss out on what will be a fun tournament with over $1,000 worth of prizes given away to tournament participants and to subscribers here on the MBL Network. So lots of stuff going on. That's August 2nd to the 5th, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. 4th and 8th, they're going to let this clock run down as we get set up for the second game of our doubleheader, Texans and Saints. Quick pregame show before that, and we will be off and running, Bomber. But boy, Cleveland coming away with their second division title this cycle, Bomber. I don't think many people thought that would ever happen.
Yeah, that's big. That's really big for this organization, for this owner. He says he's top 5. I said after the win last year and the route that he took to get there, there's no question about him being top 5. With the absence of an owner or two, he might be saying, hey, I'm top 3 now. And I think that's going to be tough to say. If he goes a back-to-back right now, he'll be the first one to win 2 Super Bowls in this Madden cycle. We've had a ton of parity in the NBL.
Yeah.
It's very tough to win multiple championships now.
6 seasons, 6 different Super Bowl winners. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And it might end this season. I mean, the Cleveland Browns just look that good.
Well, that is going to put triple zeros on the clock. The Cleveland Browns coming away with a victory and a title, an AFC North title. Once again, their second one of the cycle with a 27-17 win in this game, Bomber. Time to make our player of the game selection for this game between the Browns and the Steelers. Lot of different choices for the Cleveland Browns. Zach DeManch had a really nice game, but for me, Joe Watson's poise in the pocket all day was really good. Made a couple mistakes. Defensively, we saw Myles Garrett have an absolutely monster game on the defensive line. Who do you like for player of the game here for broadcast 229 Part A?
Oh, man, I like to say Tevin Coleman because he had the big splash play at the end. Joe Watson made a couple mistakes, but Joe Watson's their rock. How could we go away from Joe Watson because he just played so great, and I think we also take for granted what he's able to do with his feet in the pocket. So he gets in the pocket, and that's why you don't get the pass rush. So I was wondering, why is Pittsburgh not sending the heat? You can't send the heat at this guy. He's almost Vic-esque in the sense that he just has eyes in the back of his head, and you send the heat, he's going to beat you with his feet, and that's exactly what he did today. I'm going with Joe Watson as the NBL Live player of the game for broadcast 229. Part A, because we got a doubleheader.
Doubleheader action. Joe Watson, your player of the game for the game between the Browns and the Steelers. All right, folks. Buckle up, get yourself a glass of water, maybe a beer, sit down, and let's get to game 2 of our doubleheader Week 17 action. We've got the Saints and the Texans. A great matchup. The Texans, a win gives them a division title in the AFC South. A loss, the Jacksonville Jaguars win the division. So a huge game for Houston. New Orleans Saints in the playoffs as the champions of the NFC South, playing for playoff seeding. Let's take a look at the players to watch for today's game between the Texans and the Saints. First on the side of the Houston Texans. This one, actually Deshaun Watson. He's starting today. Emilio Guerrero, who is the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans, got injured in the last game we saw here on NBL Live against the Kansas City Chiefs. In that loss, Deshaun Watson had to fill in for Emilio Guerrero. Well, this is the big time, big fella. He's coming in career. 7,100 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, 93 interceptions. This guy has a propensity to turn the ball over. If they're looking for the best game of his career, this is the time to do it. They need a win for a division title. Sonny Weaver, the owner of the Tennessee Titans, has dominated this division. Not going to be Sonny Weaver's face there anymore. They want a win with owner Double A. He's only been in the NBL for one game, folks. It was their game against the Kansas City Chiefs on NBL Live in Week 16. Game 2, guess what? Get back under the bright lights, young fella. You are under the bright lights on NBL Live. This time in Week 17 with a very tough game against a New Orleans Saints team. And let's take a look at the player to watch for the New Orleans Saints. It's Devontae Christian at halfback. Spent some time injured. That's why those numbers may be down a little more than you would think. But he has had such a nice year. 5.1 yards per carry. 164 carries. 836 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns. You're going to see a New Orleans Saints team that runs the ball very effectively with Devontae Christian, but don't sleep on Ross Bonham and this passing attack of the New Orleans Saints. I like to describe the Saints team as methodical when they pass the ball. They don't take a whole lot of chances. They know how good their rushing attack is. Their offensive line does such a nice job of protecting Ross Bonham. But what they do so effectively is when it's time to take their shots, when it's time to work their way downfield, They find a way to do it through the air, and that just opens up everything for them. If Ross Bonham can get going, if Devontae Christian can soften up the defense, especially a Texans defense that has been victimized a little bit in the passing game, if Devontae Christian can get going early, look out, because this Saints team is incredibly talented. As you guys got to get your predictions in the chat, we're already seeing some come in. JB saying Saints by 17. This game is going to rely a whole lot on the arm of Deshaun Watson. Can Watson do enough? Can Watson do enough and mostly keep the ball in the hand of his own team? Can he do enough to get a win for the Texans? They're sitting there at 8-6-1, needing a win for the division. What a game. We got Bleacher Report's prediction somewhere. Let me pull those bad boys. See what those guys at Bleacher Report said. Those titles over the names, absolutely right. Watson and Ross Bonham, the battle of quarterbacks. This one, not quite split down the middle. We got 4 guys on our Bleacher Report team going the way of the New Orleans Saints. Bananas, Fella, MBM, and Sclam all going for the Saints. JY and Timbo both picking new owner AA to get a big win on MBL Live. And boy, would that be huge, as EA Smoke joining us in the chat. Smoke, welcome, my friend. Appreciate all the love from EA. Appreciate everybody tuning in to MBL Live broadcast 229, second half of our doubleheader. It should be an interesting game. I'm interested to see what you guys think in the chat. Who is going to come out with the victory in this one? Will it be new owner AA? As big of a game as it was last week, only this time there's no way to make it up next week. You're either in the playoffs or you're sitting at home. Will the New Orleans Saints come out with a win? Owner Eric quietly going about the season in that NFC South, quietly winning that division. Very, very tough division out in the NFC South. The Saints just sort of doing what they need to do. Bomber, who do you like to win this one? Ross Bonham, Devontae Christian, the Saints team, a lot of name recognition in the NBL, very talented team, and the veteran presence, or will the young rook AA coming in just one game ago come up with a big victory and a division title for the Houston Texans?
I don't care about any of that. I'm going for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I want to see this ugly mug of Unisolated on daddyleagues.com/MBL, and the only way to do it is with the Texans win. I'm sorry, AA. I'm going for my man Eric G. Well, I'm kind of just going the route in which puts the Jaguars face on there because, as I said, that division banner will hang very, very long, and we'll be able to rub it in Sonny's face that he let Unisolated win that division. So I'm going to say this tonight. The New Orleans Saints 31. The Houston Texans 17. That's where I'm going to say it on the road. Big win for the New Orleans Saints. And plus, they got a good team. I'm a big fan of Ross the Boss Bonham.
Well, only one way to find out, folks. Let's get the second half of this doubleheader underway and get rolling into the playoffs here at NBL Season 32. Coming up next, can the rookie do it or will the veteran prevail again on NBL Live? It's the New Orleans Saints and the Houston Texans. What a game. What a half of the doubleheader. And let's get to it right now here on NBL Live.
I just want to say, hey, man, this is T.O., the cover athlete of the Madden 19 Hall of Fame edition, and you're watching the gold standard of the franchise mode, the MBL network. Holla.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks who catches it, makes a madness.
Oh, that's
Woodard is coming back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. MBL Live. Broadcast 229 continues here at twitch.tv/MBL Network. What a game we have on tap, folks. It's week 17 action. It's the Houston Texans taking on the New Orleans Saints. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in to NBL Live. I am OSU, your NBL Network Director. I'm hanging out with my man, the Commissioner Bomber. Bomber, the stakes don't get bigger than this one. The Texans need a win for the division. The New Orleans Saints looking for some playoff seeding and play a little spoiler. Deshaun Watson at the helm, no Emilio Garreau. How does that affect the Houston Texans offense?
It's going to affect them a lot, but it comes down to one simple saying. You saw it on the tweet. If the Texans win, they're in. If they lose, they're not. So this is a big-time game. And Deshaun Watson, it's your time to shine here in Houston. I know you haven't been the starting quarterback for this team. We've seen a lot of Geralt, but you're 7 for 9. You got 124 yards. Let's just start building on this. Let's not worry about your past season's deficiencies, and let's just worry about the future right now, and you got to win this game to make the playoffs.
Best thing I heard after that last NBL Live game, the first game for AA here in the NBL and the Houston Texans, he made the mistake of listening to NBL Live and tried to play off of that, Bomber. That's a rookie mistake, literally.
It's very tough. Only bananas can get away with that, doing stuff like that. He just seems to keep his concentration and focus.
Well, Deshaun Watson gets tested out early as down goes Watson. Wait, I'm looking, still has both ACLs intact. 8-yard loss on the play. A tough start for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson hasn't got starter reps since NBL season 29, in which he had a 55 QBR. He was benched midway through the season. NBL season 28, he had a 47 QBR. He finished that season. NBL season 27, a 61 QBR. So this is not a successful quarterback under center, but guess what? It's all they got.
Watson rolling out. He's going to take off, try to find some room. He actually lowers the shoulder and tries to go through the defender on the outside, picking up 7. Going to bring up a 3rd and 11, Bomber. I think that's the last thing the Texans fan base wanted to see is Deshaun Watson lowering any sort of body part and taking a hit.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great season for Deshaun Watson or a great career this Madden cycle. Maybe that changes in Madden 19, but as for now, Deshaun Watson has not been the savior of the franchise they hoped he would be. Geralt has been the guy. He's not here today. You're stuck with Watson. Let's see what he can do.
Watson rolling out 3rd and 11. Lots of time waiting. Looks over the middle. And why not throw it right to the New Orleans Saints? And he's going to house this one. 5 touchdowns, Saints. Oh boy, Deshaun, what you doing? It's elementary, my dear Watson. Don't throw it to the Saints as they put 6 on the board early.
And I'll tell you what, the Jacksonville Jaguar viewing party is going crazy right now. This team is in desperate need. Even if they have to get in through another team's loss, they're going to take it as a win. They got to have the Texans lose tonight for the Jaguars to win that division and get in the playoffs. And it's looking pretty sound right now as Deshaun Watson on his first drive throws a pick 6.
Fun fact, his stats for the year now, he is 7 for 9 for 124 yards and now 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Bomber, what is it? We saw this in their game against the Chiefs in Week 16 here on NBL Live. They have a very capable running back in Howard Safarian-Jenkins. It's almost like Double A's come up and, I don't know, maybe Safarian-Jenkins slept with his wife or something because he does not want that ball to go to Safarian-Jenkins.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the running attack has been too vital with the change in ownership. Howard Safarian-Jenkins, as you said, 5 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. Eric Graham, even off the bench, 5.6 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. And even Jordan Jacquet, however you would say it, 3.3 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. So a very capable halfback core there. And it just seems like they need to get them involved just a little bit more.
How about Robinson's second sack of the day right up the middle? They're having trouble containing the interior of that Saints defensive line. So far, let's point this out. 4 plays from scrimmage, Bomber. 2 sacks, an interception, and a scramble. Not the start you were hoping for if you're the Houston Texans.
You're just hoping Deshaun Watson doesn't throw you out of the game, but when you compile it with not being able to protect him as a quarterback, it adds a whole nother level of problems they might occur here.
Out route to Will Fuller. It's complete down near the first down marker, Bomber. There's another rookie move. Didn't see him hot route that one. Little smart route to get him past the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to have to convert to 3rd and 2.
Yeah, easily could have just told the wide receiver, gave him a little bit of a signal, say, hey, push that route up to the line of scrimmage, get us the first down here. You see soft coverage. It looks like a cover 0 blitz. It was what it looked like, and Watson capitalized because when in doubt, you out route, and that's exactly what he did. Just didn't smart route the receiver upfield. Maybe a little bit of a rookie mistake, but this guy's 6 years into the league.
Whoa, what a dangerous throw, but the big tight end, Scott, boxing out the defender and making the catch at the 38-yard line. Boy, even when Watson makes a right read, Bomber, it doesn't look good. Nonetheless, the Houston Texans get a first down.
Yeah, Houston is just really, I know their fan base probably right now says, all right, we've already thrown a pick 6, and everything after that has either looked very simplistic or very risky. Still yet to run the ball. Let's see if they can get the ground and pound game going.
First and 10, Safarian-Jenkins going over to the right side. They're going to hand it off to the Frenchman, Jacquet, over the left side. He'll get 2 yards on the play. Boy, I'm starting to think Howard Safarian-Jenkins just insulted Double A as he came in as the owner of the Houston Texans, because he does not touch the ball.
Yeah, he's not getting any carries right now. He's not their featured back. I don't know why, what they see in the other 2 halfbacks, but they've looked good this season with all 3 backs. But Safarian-Jenkins, as you see him right there, number 36, offset. He looks like he's going to be blocking and releasing on this play.
2nd and 8, waiting, takes a shot to Will Fuller with a little possession catch in front of the corner. Nice throw there by Watts as they push it downfield, recognizing the cover 2. And Will Fuller's 2nd catch of the day puts the Texans into enemy territory.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a blind trust your arm throw or it's a confidence throw. I saw them talking to him when he sat down after the pick 6, and I think they told him something like, hey, you got nothing to lose. Nobody expects nothing from you right now. Go out there and sling the ball with some confidence, and let's just see what happens. And right now it looks like that's what Deshaun Watson is going to do, but down he goes again as Blackson gets to him. This defensive line.
He just doesn't want to throw it underneath. He's locking in on one receiver, and that flat on the right side was just standing over there screaming for Watson to throw the ball, and Watson instead decided to take the 8-yard loss. An interesting strategic play. A bold move, Cotton. But we've got a 2nd and 8 now for the Houston Texans. They're on the 46-yard line. Shotgun formation. Safarian-Jenkins, the ghost to the left of Deshaun Watson. He drops back on 2nd down. Waiting, looks underneath. He finds Roberts. Tries to spin free of the tackle, but he'll be taken down at the 40-yard line. He'll get back about 6. Going to bring up a 3rd and 12.
All right, I got an idea here for 3rd and 12. This is 3rd and forever for Deshaun Watson. You're on the 40-yard line. I don't really trust him here. This is that kind of territory where everything gets a little tighter. Run the ball here. Put yourself and solidify yourself a field goal. Do not get too cute. Give your offense an opportunity.
Well, they're going to throw it here on 3rd and 12. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Safarian-Jenkins to the right of Deshaun Watson here on 3rd and 12. Dropping back, 3-man rush, not picked up well. Watson's taking off, and he's going to get slammed down at the 37-yard line, picking up 3 on the play. Oh, boy, this cover 3 is just making Double A look silly as the New Orleans Saints doing a nice job of making there not be any easy reads. Houston trying to get points. Kick is up, and it's off the crossbar, and they will get no points. He didn't kick it full power. I don't know if you saw it.
Sometimes it does that animation.
No, I don't know if you saw it. Wow. He did not kick it full power. He was short of the line, and so they get no points on that drive. So, Bomber, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being me at a 100-meter dash, 10 being Usain Bolt, how was the start?
Well, this start is leaning towards you.
That's fair.
I hate to say it, but I would like to see the defense come up with the play here. You just left 3 points on the board. You've given a pick 6. Come on, defense, come through for us one more time.
Ross Bottom's going to complete the ball over the middle. He's got some room past the 40 to the 39-yard line. 1 throw, 17 yards. Bomber. This whole league, the NBL has been watching Ross Bottom, waiting for him to take the next step. Is this the year we see the New Orleans Saints challenge for an NFC title?
I don't know. This is probably the last year we got. I mean, it is. So, I mean, if it ain't this year, we'll see him in the 5-year sim. So, Ross Bonham, this is your opportunity for glory. We haven't seen it yet. Nothing says that we should see it at this point. But I still believe in Ross Bonham. I think he's a heck of a quarterback, top 5 talent.
1st and 10, Bonham. Ooh, that was not the throw. I think he recognized man coverage and just locked in and thought he would come open, but good coverage by Agnew on the outside. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
And that was a dangerous throw. I mean, you got a post route on the left side. I get it. It's a man beater, but the defense plays phenomenal. He shows you he's inside on that coverage, and you still throw it anyways. That's the problem I have with Ross the Boss, but watch one-on-one coverage on the right side. You got Grant Cannon.
2nd and 10, dropping back is Bonham, waiting, looks deep down the middle. It's thrown to Doku. He's got him there, and he dropped the touchdown. Oh, it was an easy walk-in for Al-Jabbar, and he didn't look it into the breadbasket. It turns from real lucky to a real disaster.
He didn't look it in because he looked up and thought it was a bird. There's no way he thought that was. There's no way he thought that was the football, right? No. What physics engine is this? Hold on.
Maybe the lights got in his eyes. I don't know.
He thought that was a bird. No way.
It's an indoor stadium. How would it be a bird?
There's always birds, man.
Birds?
There's always birds.
3rd and 10. Just hand the ball off and get what you can. I get to the 35. I'm done. Bomber, take it. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, that was an interesting. He drives the ball. Ross the Boss puts so much on it. when he gets deflected, it takes a NASA-type approach to the sky and then finds itself 20 yards downfield to the wide open guy who mistakes it for a brown bird and can't come through with it because, I mean, who wants to catch a bird, right? So 10-0, Saints are up right now. That's where we're at. Did you like my NASA reference? It hit him.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it.
Who programmed these physics? NASA? I got to know. Was it some space engineer? Oh, my gosh. Liftoff, huh? Houston. We have a problem. See, it all corresponds, right?
Okay, yep, that adds up.
And Eric G's connection dies, of course. Yeah.
Well, he's got.
Well, I did say something about us not having a thing. Well, let's just wrap up.
You did say that. You were the worst.
Hey, it's better now than actually in the playoffs, guys.
Yeah,
this is the first one we had in a long, long time.
This is why Eric G doesn't get to play on NBL Live. But we had a good night. It was a good night so far. It's just sad that tip play doesn't. I think out of everything, this might help AA and the Texans.
Yeah, he won't have that momentum swing that was just pending. That was a bad situation.
All right, so on a Bomber, when we're ranking the NBL internet connections, DB or Eric G, which one gets the
Eric
best
G's
one?
actually can host. I don't know where he's playing from. He's actually usually streams our games. He usually doesn't have problems. So I don't know. Maybe since he found out that he wasn't streaming, he thought he could go play at his girlfriend's house or something. And
maybe it's AA.
Here we are.
Maybe it's AA. Who knows? We can blame the new guy. I think that's fair, Bomber. We get to blame the new guy.
Well, it did say connection to peer, so it 100% is Eric G. but
he says, how many games have I streamed LMFAO? Well, not this one. Not this one. That's going to take us to the end of our broadcast because, well, somebody didn't pay their cable bill. But, Bomber, we're heading into the playoffs. We got the playoffs broadcasted here at twitch.tv/NBL Network. Make sure you hit that follow button so you know when we go live. We'll have bonus coverage and NBL Live leading up to the Season 32 Super Bowl. It's a great time here on the NBL Network, and then we get to go into the 5-year sim and then the EA Access Tournament. Tons going on here on the network.
Yeah, we got a lot of things coming up. Make sure you follow at Bomber League, at NBL Network on our respective Twitter accounts. Also, go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com to get all the information about the NBL, gain some historical knowledge about the NBL, where we're also, we follow the trials and tribulations of Eric G's internet. He's really sensitive about his internet. Now I'm going to have to really just drill him on this disconnect. We're just going to blame him. I mean, that's the way we got to go with it.
DB, send Eric a hammer to help out with that internet connection. Let's see if that'll help. But a fun night here on the network, even though it ended with a little bit of a dud. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. Hit that follow button, subscribe button, and just tune in and watched NBL Live. For my co-host Bomber, I am OSU. Make sure you sign up for the EA Access Tournament, and make sure you follow us here on the NBL Network because we want to see you throughout the week. Playoff action, and you can only find it here on NBL Live.